Sorry, my video cut out. But as I was saying, this is video 2. All the things that haven't come to pass yet, that I've been saying for years now, haven't come to pass because it isn't time yet. But it says it in the Bible, on that day, which is referring to the day of the Lord. On that day, he will make his, I don't know the pronunciation of the name, but it says he will make him his signet ring, for he has chosen Israel. It says, in that day when the Lord returns to me, all will see it with their own eyes. Everything from the earthquakes to everything that I've been saying is going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. There's a lot of things that have already happened, but basically the things that I'm saying that people call me crazy for and they don't believe me, they don't have to believe me because they're going to see it with their own eyes in that day. That day, we don't know what day that's going to be. Only God knows. But in that day, they're going to see that the things I'm saying are true. It's written in Psalm 141 verse 6 that the wicked will be thrown down off the cliffs and they will learn that my words are well spoken. So they don't really have to believe me, but I'm just saying, by faith, if you listen to what I say, you'll see in that day that I'm correct. Because the things I say do sound crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I even think sometimes I doubt myself and I'm like, is this true? But I have faith because I know that God doesn't lie. And God's words don't lie. And it's in God's timing that he's going to reveal it and expose the wicked. He's going to show everybody that I've been right about the things I've said. But it's on his time and it's in that day. But I will never give up on God because I know that the things he's told me are true. And God doesn't lie. And his word doesn't lie. But I did want to mention what I was going to say before this video ends really quickly. Is you can't force somebody to love you. You can't force somebody to like you. You can't force them no matter what you do. You can forgive them, but you can't force them. You could apologize. There's someone out there that could apologize to me for all the things they've done wrong. And they could buy me $1 million house. And they could say, I want to marry you. And I'm Jesus and I want to marry you. And I bought you all these things and I did all of this for you. Whether they were Jesus or not, if I don't want to be with them, I don't have to. And I'm making a point because there is a person, an individual out there who is going around calling himself Jesus. And he's the Antichrist. And everybody's deceived by him and they all think that he's Jesus. And I'm just going to put it out there and make it straight the hell up, blunt as can be. His name is Douglas Harwood and he is not Jesus. And everybody who goes around thinking that he's Jesus, when he put me up here thinking that he's going to deceive me as the Antichrist, he didn't act like Jesus, and Jesus was perfect in every way, and the things that that man did was not Jesus-like at all, number one. So it just proves that he's not Jesus. Second of all, even if he was Jesus, let's just say, metaphorically speaking, if he was, and he did all of these nice things for me, right? All of it to try to get me back. It's not gonna work because this is not a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing. He's the beast and this is not gonna happen. And even if he called himself Jesus and said, I'm sorry for everything I did. I want to marry you. I got you all these things and $1 billion house and all of these things. And I just love you so much. Will you please marry me? I would say, I forgive you. I appreciate the fact that you did all these things for me, but I'm sorry, I decline your offer. I would rather be alone than to marry somebody like you. And I'm just being honest. You can't force somebody to love you, and that's never going to happen. So I just wanted to put that out there, but also to let the people know that he did all this shit around the whole globe so everybody can see me. But he is not Jesus, because Jesus, the real, true living God, Jesus, would never have done this shit like that to me. And even if he did, and let's just say he was Jesus, I would decline the offer, and I would rather be alone by myself than to ever be with somebody like that. Ever the fuck again. And I'm just saying, because, even if he was Jesus and he was trying to teach me a lesson, it's a two-way street, and nobody does that. And in my opinion, even if I let it go, and I was like, okay, he is Jesus. He's not. I can tell you that straight up, because Jesus doesn't act like that. And the stuff he's done to me was not Christ-like at all. But I know that even if he was, and I didn't know it, and there was more to this, I would still decline. Because knowing somebody like that made me want to vomit. I would actually rather be alone than to be with somebody like that. Because that's not the Jesus I love. Okay, that's number one. And number two, the true living God, the Jesus that I would imagine to be, is none of those qualities at all. So that's how I know he's not Jesus. So I just wanted to put that out there, because so many people are deceived by him, thinking that he's God and that he's Jesus, and he's not. The true living God will come in the clouds with power and great glory, as it is written in Matthew. And I just want to say he lives in me, because it says the deliverer comes from Zion. But people need to stop thinking that I'm Jesus, because that is not true, and I would never claim to be that. And here's why. Number one, Jesus was perfect. I'm not perfect. Number two, the Lord's already revealed my identity in him, and that's Jerusalem, his bride. He protects his bride. When I got struck by him, by the Lord, for my sins, I survived it supernaturally, because he's showing he protects Israel. And number three, I myself know that the cornerstone, which is the seed of the woman, is the spirit. It doesn't mean I'm pregnant. It's the spirit of Yeshua HaMashiach that lives on me to make me alive. That doesn't mean I myself am Jesus. I'm not. His fire's in me. His spirit is on me. I'm anointed, but that does not mean I'm Jesus. So I just wanted to clarify those things, because there's so many people out there putting these things out there and saying these things and gossiping, and it really doesn't matter, because God's in control and he'll show them either way. But I just wanted to make a point, because people don't understand the interpretations of scripture the way I do, and they call me crazy and they think that, but it's not true. They call Jesus demon possessed, but he was the Son of God. Jesus, the spirit of Jesus that lives inside me, they call demon possessed, but he's not. He's the Son of God, okay? But that doesn't mean I myself am Jesus. I am his bride, Jerusalem. He lives in me, his spirit. So that's what I wanted to clarify, because so many people have things mixed up, and they don't understand the true value of the interpretations of scripture the way I do. So I just wanted to clarify it, and to let you know that yes, he's coming. It's not going to be in the way people think, but it is going to be, I believe, either in the clouds and with power and great glory, as it is written, because it's going to be a public event. It's going to be huge, just as it is written. So anybody's going around calling themselves Jesus, don't believe them, because it's not true. And it says the true living God will come in the clouds with power and great glory. When you see, it says, when you see, you will be in anguish and perplexity at what's coming to the world. Everybody will be in a panic mode at what's coming to the world. But at that very time when that happens, look up, because they will see the sign of the Son of Man in the clouds with power and great glory. So there's basically going to be some kind of catastrophe that happens first, a collapse of some sort. And at that time, everyone's going to be freaking out. It says, around that time, they will see Jesus in the sign. It's the sign of the Son of Man in the clouds with power and great glory. And that's the true living God. So I just want to, and he also comes, it also says, after 70 years completed for Babylon, because we're in captivity in Babylon, he will come to me and fulfill his good promise to bring me back to this place, to Israel. So it might not be in the exact way I think he's coming, But I do know that the enemy will send counterfeits to try to deceive people. So don't fall for that shit. I'm not falling for that shit. And even if I did, I know that God has a reason